This is Keith Boggs with Stonebriar Property Inspections, and this is the debrief for 1903 Indigo Creek Lane in Wiley. I've taken about 80 pictures of the house, and I've got several videos of the house. So we're going to be going over these pictures and these videos. You'll also be receiving an actual home inspection report from me, so you'll get two separate emails. One will have the YouTube video of this, everything that we're going to talk about right now. And then the report's going to include only the things that the builder needs to take action on. The items, the defects, or items need to be taken action on. So there won't be 80 pictures and videos and several videos in the main inspection report. They'll just be in there what the builder needs to complete the build. However, all of this stuff we'll be reviewing right now, and it will be sent to you in a video that you should download to your hard drive, so you have that for any kind of questions or for further use. So the first picture we're looking at here is just a picture of the front of the house. Nothing necessarily wrong. That's just for the title page of the report. This is when I went up the back of the structure to get on the roof, walk the roof, and this is some flashing here that needs to be painted. So there's several areas where the flashing needs to be painted. So right along here and down to here, they need to paint that flashing to protect it from rusting. These are some metal hot gas B vents. A couple of those also need to be painted, and that's also to protect from rusting. Same thing here. So paint this and protect from rusting. These are your PVC plumbing vents, and they also need to be painted to protect from ultraviolet deterioration. There's quite a few of those that are unpainted, so they need to be painted to protect them. Some more here. This is also some flashing, again, needs to be painted. This next is a video of the roof. I did walk the roof, and so this is kind of just to show you the kind of condition of the roof. It's not that long, about a minute long, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it so you have it in this recording for later use. Some flashing down there needs to be painted. You probably saw that. It's a good quality shingle. Okay, that's the end of that video. The roof, this type of roof should last about 18 to 20 years, depending on whether we get hailstorms or not. That can actually shorten the roof lifespan quite a bit. But if everything goes well, you'll get about 18 to 20 years of use out of this roof before it needs to be replaced. Oh, I replayed the video, so let me go to the next picture. This is your water meter handhole, and it's full of dirt right now, so I can't see the water meter and the shutoff valve. So this dirt needs to be removed so that valve and meter is accessible. This is also one way that we check the sprinkler system. For the drip irrigation on the sprinkler system, there's a low flow indicator on the meter, and we can't see it because it's buried in the dirt right now. Also, we use this to look for supply leaks inside the house. New houses is not very often to have a supply leak, but it does occur from time to time. So the builder needs to get all that dirt out of there so that valve and that meter is accessible. This is just a location of it right here. Now, some of this stuff the builder may have already covered with you. This is an expansion joint here on the side of the house, and that expansion joint needs what's called joint filler. So they need to fill this joint with joint filler. So there's several of them like that. That's just right along here near the water heater. Excuse me. This is just your water heater. Nothing wrong with the water heater. Everything works fine. This is a little hole in the veneer where the power supply for the condenser is going in, and it's just they need to fill this hole with some sealant. These other holes are weep holes; they're supposed to be here, but this is a big enough hole they need to fill it with some sealant. to protect from bugs and rodents getting in there. This is just this stuff's just for me. This is a manufacturer's label on the condenser and the type of condenser. I use that when I look at the panel box. Okay, so all the windows still need caulking around the perimeter, so there's no caulking around these windows, and they're all that way. So this particular window is to the master bathroom. So you need a caulk around the perimeter. And in the report, I can draw and I'll illustrate exactly where it should go. I won't do it around all the windows, but a few of the windows, just so you know what I'm talking about. There's another expansion joint needs to be filled with joint filler, and that's on the other side of the window. And again, this is windows need caulking around them, all three of these. And then basically everything around the house needs painting or caulking around the windows. This is the water pressure of the house. The range for water pressure is 40 to 80, and you're about 60. For a house of this size, that should be fine. This is the back door threshold, and they need a caulk along this bottom of the threshold here. You said you saw some rain inside. It's possible that this wasn't caulked, so the rain got into the house that way. So you need to go along the bottom of this threshold and just caulk it up real good. This is the door. This is just where the door is located. Quite a few doors throughout the structure are missing hinges. So someone needs to go through and look at all the doors and make sure they install all the hinges. This is more flashing, needs to be painted back at the back of the structure. This is another expansion joint, needs joint filler. This is one of the front coach lights that never caulked around the perimeter of the coach light. The other one they did, this one they did not. So they need to go around the perimeter of this light and caulk around it, or seal around it. There's no guttering around the house, which is not required by code, but they need to either they do or you need to install some guttering right up here. Otherwise, every time it rains, it's going to wash away your mulch here. It's going to be a big mess every time it rains. So that needs to some guttering needs to be installed there to get that water, get that mulch, protect that mulch from being washed away every time it rains. This is the location of the gas meter. We're required to tell you where that's at. It was very clear the garage door opener, they hadn't had it completely installed. It's not. It's out of square and it's not operational. So that needs to be made operational. Excuse the coffee. I'm getting a little sick. This is a thermal picture of the panel box. This is basically just a benchmark reading. Just want to see what's going on with the panel box thermally. This is done usually at the beginning of the inspection. I'm looking at the temperature ranges. I'm also looking at the wiring and at the breakers. These breakers are lit up right now. These are arc fault breakers, and that's normal. Later on, I take another thermal reading, sometimes 3 thermal readings, and again, I'll be looking at the temperatures and to see if anything's going on electrically with the panel box. And it looked fine in the morning, and later on, you'll see a picture. It looked fine then too. Another hinge missing. This door also is the door going from the structure to the garage is a fire door. It should be self-closing. Now this was in the code, but they removed it from the code. I always call it out because it's a life safety issue. So the door should be made self-closing to protect you in the case of fire in the garage. There's also a couple other things that the builder hasn't installed, and I'm assuming it's because the city has not required it yet. We'll cover this, like the pressure reducing valve is not installed. Some cities don't require it. I talked to the builder later in the day, and he did say that they're not requiring it out there. So just be prepared for him to tell you that. This is the front door, and again, the threshold needs to be sealed up, caulked and sealed along that bottom of that threshold. That's just a location. I could not get the sprinkler system to work. I went through all the zones, and none of them came on. So something's going on with it. It showed like it was working. You see here, zone 7. It was counting down, but nothing was coming on. I did check the double check valve, and both of the double check valves were on, but unfortunately, the sprinkler system did not work. So they need to get somebody out there to find out what's going on with the sprinkler system. This is the outlet receptacle in the kitchen, and right here, this today is required to be GFCI protected, just like the kitchen is. Again, this is one of those things that the city of Wiley may not be requiring, so you just need to question the builder about making that GFCI and if the city requires it. This is your microwave. This is me testing a microwave to show that it does work. This is your oven. It's set to 350, and it heated to about 325, so that's within the range. The range is 325 to 375, so heated within the range. This is your dishwasher. And this is the first reading of the dishwasher. We're looking for temperatures. This is the temperature where the bullseye is, and this is the highest temperature we're seeing in there. It did heat to the appropriate temperature. I got another reading later on where it was over 120, which is what you want. So the dishwasher should be between 120 but no higher than 150. This is a loose receptacle in the kitchen. Looks like it's behind the plate. The screws are either not present, or it's not secured inside the wall. So you need to take up that cover and secure that outlet inside the wall. That's just here to the right of the cooktop. This is above the cooktop. It's missing a bulb for the range, so you need to install a bulb there. This is just a gap around the Cat 5 in the kitchen. That's just a big gap there. That's just cosmetically doesn't look good. So they need to either adjust this cover on this or fix that tile there. That's just where it's located. This is the cooktop, just showing that all 4 of the burners work. This is what you want: nice pronounced blue flames around the burners. That's how it should look. So the cooktop is working fine. There is a drip leak under the sink, so they need to get up underneath there. And it's only a few drips you can see there. I filled it with water and had it sitting there for a while, so it may be a little difficult to locate the leak. But it's coming from the drainage side of the system. So you need to get up there and find out where that leak's coming from, and tighten everything up so we don't have a continuous leak going on. This is the deadbolt at the back patio door, and the latch on the deadbolt is not setting into the pilot hole of the striker plate properly. So they need to make that where it operates smoothly and properly. Otherwise, over time, it's going to damage the deadbolt. This is the fireplace. The pilot light was not lit, so we can't test that. So they need to get that fireplace operational, and need to show you how to operate that. That's just the pilot light showing that it's not lit inside the firebox. This is a code item that again possibly is not a code in Wiley. There should be a sticker here that states the diameter of the vent and the length determination, and that sticker is not present. This is the top nowel at the second floor, and it's loose on the wall, so that needs to be secured against the wall. This one right here needs to be secured against the wall. This is your AC filter, and it is clean at the time of inspection. You do have a spot here for a 4 or 5 inch filter. Once you move in, you're going to probably not want to use these 1 inch filters because you got to replace them every month. You get a 4 or 5 inch filter, and you only have to replace it a couple times a year. In some cases, only once a year. Another reason I took this picture is the compartment here. The filter compartment is damaged. So not a big deal, but it's a brand new house, so that should be in new condition. You can just see a better picture there. Okay, this is a video of the furnace running. The heater did work fine. I took some readings. I did run the air conditioning later, and the air conditioning was not working. I wasn't getting any differentials. I got some readings here later on. An AC company was there when I was leaving. You guys had already left, but there was an AC company there working on the air conditioning, so I'm assuming they were probably aware that it wasn't working properly. You just need to double check with them and make sure that the AC was working. I'm going to go ahead and just play this so you can kind of see the furnace, and we can talk a little bit about the burner compartment. You'll see the inside of the burner compartment here in a second. You see the nice blue, again, nice blue flames. That just shows good combustion. Just a little short video. This is the insulation depth. We're required to report that by truck, the state that licenses us. The minimum is 12 inches, and you've got 14 inches. Okay, so this is the AC differential. So the range for the AC differential is 15 to 22 degrees. Right here we got a 71. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is on the heat side. We got a 71 and a 113, so that's heating well. This is the second reading of the dishwasher. If you look at this bottom number, it says 133 degrees. The dishwasher was heating properly. This is a second thermal look at the panel box. A little blurry, but everything looks fine. Temperatures look fine. No wires appear to be overheating. No other issues with the panel box. The panel box was fine. This is the air conditioning differential. So we got, again, we're looking for 15 to 22 degrees. With a brand new unit, really should be closer to 22 degrees. But here we had a 66 and a 65. So that's really not cooling at all. But again, there was an AC guy out there working on it when I was leaving, finishing up. This is a light inside the utility room. I think I actually heard you guys talking about this. The utility room light did not come on, so it's either a burnt out bulb or the bulbs are not present. Right up here. And that is it. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or text me. Probably the best thing to do is text me or email me. If you text me, I'll get back with you probably within 15, 20, 30 minutes. If you email me, I'll probably get back with you within a half a day. If you voicemail me, it may be several days. So if you want to get to me quicker, the best thing to do is text me. If you have any questions, just contact me, and I hope you enjoy your new home.